This is my Fly Girl book review. Yes, I know y'all like Fly Girl. The book is dope. I'm pretty sure you love the book. So now I'm gonna give this book review on the book. Are you guys ready? You're ready? You're ready now. Remember the coldest winter book review? Now with this book review, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna do two different households. I am going to do Tracy's household in this video. I'm gonna talk about Tracy, her household, her mama, her daddy, her people in this one, okay? Yes. So let's talk about Tracy. Now, Tracy is a Virgo, guys. Yes, I'm using my phone to help me out, guys. Tracy's a Virgo. Virgos are earth signs. You know, Virgos are loyal. That's one thing that's constantly being mentioned about Tracy. She is loyal, and in the story, that's her Victor's favorite thing about Tracy. They are hardworking. Their weakness are shyness. They overly worry. They are all work and no play. They like animals. They are healthy. They like food. They like books, and they like nature. Now, let's talk about Tracy's family. Tracy's mom name is Patty. Tracy's mom's sister is Marcia. She has a sister named Marie. She has a sister named Joy, and she has a sister named Tanya. And one of the jobs Tracy's mom worked was as a nursing assistant, and she also worked at an abortion clinic within the story. They kind of talked about that briefly. And she has a brother, Jason. So there are two of them. Tracy's mom comes from the hood, and people didn't really expect her to marry Dave. Dave is Tracy's father. They didn't really expect her to get him. They didn't think that it would happen because Dave was a ladies' man, you know? He was spoiled by his mother, and all the girls wanted Dave. So Tracy's mom deals with that over the time because a lot of people did not expect her to get Dave, and she got Dave. Tracy's dad, Dave, was never really consistent in Tracy's life. Now, he was there financially. He supported his family. He was a man about that. But he moved out of their house and he went and lived his life. And his wife had to be a single mother to 2 children. And he was always promising her that he would come back. He would come back. He could pop up in their house, whatever, because he was paying all the bills. However, he and Tracy's mom was together, but he would leave and come whenever he seen fit. And she couldn't find a guy that was compared to him. They talked about in the story how she dated one guy, and his name was Paul Gregory. Now, Tracy kicked this guy under the table. Tracy really didn't like him when she was a little girl. She really didn't want to, you know, him around her or her mother. She was like, Mom, why is this loser around us? Where is Dad, you know? And nobody would compare. And that was something that was important to Patty. She wanted the right guy that's gonna come along. She wanted them to be right for not only her, but right for her daughter as well. Dave was the only son. His father had passed, so his mom was a single mother, and she spoiled her son. So he was spoiled, and honestly, he didn't really know how to really be in a relationship because he wanted to explore. There was a lot. I think he and Tracy had that in common, that they just wanted to explore, and they wanted to see what life was like. But the horrible thing is that he stayed married, and he married, but he kept Tracy's mom around. And Tracy's mom was a strong woman. Tracy's mom was on top of things. Tracy's mom took care of her children, and she always kept the job. And she was willing, if he was not going to return home the right way, she was willing to leave him and get a new house and just support her kids the way she knew how. So she was like, listen, if this man is not going to step up like I expect him to, if he ain't going to do right by me and my kids, I could do without him. I don't need him. I could raise my kids without him. Let's talk about Tracy and her love life. Tracy had a lot of guys. Tracy's first guy was Tommy. Tommy was a little boy. Tommy liked Tracy. They both were children. They were little kids. And Tommy would teach Tracy how to play football. Tommy would follow Tracy around, do whatever Tracy said, and she just didn't like that. She wanted a challenge. She was so young, and she wanted the boys to be fun. And she was like, listen, I want a challenge. They were little kids at the time, and she wanted Aaron. Now, Aaron Barnes and Tommy and Aaron was friends, and Tracy brought a rift between the two friends. Tracy had Tommy wanting to fight Aaron, and Tommy ended up getting his little poor self beat up because he was trying to be mad because Tracy wanted Aaron. Tracy always wanted Aaron. When she started liking boys, Tracy wanted to talk to Aaron because she felt like, hey, he was a bad boy in school and he didn't like girls. He wasn't into girls like that. And you know, she was up for the challenge. He wanted challenge. She wanted something that everybody did not have, and that was Aaron. And the girls was trying to talk to him. All the girls liked him, and he just did not like girls. He was like, yup. And he didn't want to pursue Tracy or nothing. And she tried. With Mercedes' advice, she got him. She got him, but after she got him, she got bored with him and just completely pushed him to the side and didn't want to talk to the little boy. And he threatened to punch her in her face. And that's how their little relationship ended. And the next guy was Steve. Now, Steve was one of the handsome boys. Steve was a football player. Steve had his girlfriend. Steve's girlfriend was the captain of the cheerleading team. Steve was already set up. Steve already had his own little situation. But Tracy came and Steve was such a pushover. Tracy just legit asked him like, hey, leave your girl. Come be with me now. And he did it. He just left his girl and he went with Tracy. And Tracy was assuming that it was going to be way fun. Tracy thought that he was going to pursue her or make it difficult for her. But as soon as she just asked him to be with her, he did it. He didn't question nothing. He was like, okay, if you want me and you to be together, that's fine. I'll be with you. No problem. He wasn't taking it as serious. And Tracy got easily bored and she felt like she was cheated. She was like, hey, this was supposed to be harder, but it was too easy and she didn't like that. She wanted more of a challenge. The next guy was Amir. Now, Tracy and Amir had not been intimate. Tracy was warned by her friend not to talk to Amir because Amir was talking to Carmen. And now at the time, her and Carmen was not friends yet, but later on they became friends. Now, Amir was doing it. Amir was getting down and having sexual intercourse, but Tracy wasn't into that. When Steve took Tracy to the movies, she met up with Amir outside the movies at the concessions and they were flirting, and he had his private areas all up on her in that, and she was just like, ew, but she liked him, so she was like, oh, she wanted more. She was like, it's nasty, but I want more because I like him. He's teaching me something different, put me on to something different. They sat outside of her house and they kissed, not at the same time. On another occasion they kissed, and he and Tracy talked about meeting up and hanging out after school. Now, while in school, all of the girls were saying that, they thought that Amir and her was gonna hook up. So she was like, he's not talking about me, making it seem like me and him are gonna get intimate. No, so she just lost interest in him and she did not want to hang out with him after school, and he was upset about that, but he just moved on to Carmen because in the book, Carmen was portrayed as the friend that would get down. There was another boy and his name was Ricky, but it wasn't serious or nothing. He just chased her at her dance class one time and she described him as being weird, but she was so happy about the excitement of being chased. So yes, that's what happened. The next guy would be Travis. Travis really liked Tracy. She liked talking to him on the phone because he was honest and he made her laugh. However, she wasn't attracted to him at all. And Travis was the first person who brought up Victor to Tracy. He told her about Victor, so she was super excited to meet Victor because he talked Victor up. He said Victor was the man, Victor was fine. Victor was, that she needed to be with. Now, he didn't say that he was the guy that she needed to be with. What he said was, Victor beat up a guy. Victor's strong and I got a lot of respect for him. So that made her, want to talk to him. Now, after Travis, it was Bob. Now, Travis took Tracy to a house and they were all hanging out with a bunch of other girls, and Travis was trying to get some from Tracy. But Tracy did not like Travis. Tracy thought Travis is ugly. Tracy was like, ew, well, I'm not gonna lose it or mess around with Travis, especially not my first time. I wanted to be with somebody I like. There was a guy at the house, his name was Bob. Bob was so cute. Tracy liked him. And first off, when Tracy got in the house, all of the guys were smoking with the girls, and the girls were smoking and they were having sex. Tracy didn't smoke anything, but she was around it, but Bob was the cutest guy there. So she went back to Bob's house in pursuit of possibly they were gonna sleep together. They flirted, they was looking good together, being cute together, everything. She thought that it was about to go down. But nope, it didn't go down because Bob's mom was coming up the driveway and she was like, listen, who you got in this house? Tracy ran out the back door right in time before Bob's mom came inside. Crazy. The next guy we're gonna talk about is Victor. Victor had me in my feelings, but Victor was fly. Victor was that guy. All the girls wanted Victor. Victor was, hey, daddy, hi. Listen, Victor had Tracy waiting on the playground for him. Victor had a bunch of girls, and Victor was the guy she lost her virginity to. She lost it to Victor on the floor, yes, on the floor of her basement. And Victor was used to busting girls down. He slept with her the entire summer. They slept together, and he introduced her to different things sexually. And she she liked Victor, and Victor really liked her, but he was afraid, you know, to let it be known. Later on in the book, you hear as far as what's going to happen between her and Victor. Victor goes to jail, I'm assuming for drug dealing and everything else, but I was wrong. Victor went to jail for fighting. So Victor was doing time, and while he was in jail, he was writing Tracy, telling her all the things that he was going through, and he asked Tracy to wait for him. Now, one big thing Tracy and Victor had, I think the big thing that gave her the upper hand over other women, Victor liked how loyal Tracy was. He's like, oh my God, you're so loyal. I love that about you. I need a girl that's loyal and down for me, and you're the one. So Victor favored her over other girls because of her loyalty and how down she was. And over the years, she and Victor saw each other after, because Victor was always moving around with a different girl. He couldn't stay with one girl. So eventually he and Tracy didn't last. But at the end of the book, he wrote her and said how he's in love with her and he wants to marry her when he gets out of jail. If only she'll wait for him. So that's the catch. And he knew she was loyal, so he was confident that she was going to wait for him. And so far, she's been waiting. So she's agreed to wait for Victor. Now we talking about Bruce. Bruce was my least favorite character in the book. I don't like Bruce. I know y'all might like Bruce, but I don't like Bruce. Let me tell you guys why I don't like Bruce. I don't like Bruce because Raheema, the next door neighbor, liked Bruce. Now, Raheema didn't like guys coming up. She didn't really like guys. I'll talk about that in the second video. She didn't like guys, but she liked Bruce. Bruce was cute, and Bruce was a nice little sweet, kind guy. And he would have been perfect for Raheema. But she wouldn't have sex with him. And Bruce wanted to have sex. He wanted to get introduced to that feeling. Now, at first, let's be honest, Bruce did like Tracy first. But when he saw Raheema, he was like, yeah, that's the one. So he was making Raheema his girlfriend. Raheema turned into his girlfriend. And then when they broke up, he just moved along with Tracy and she slept with him. She slept with him, she used him because he had a lot of money and she didn't want to be with him. After she had sex with him, he was hooked on her. He wanted them to be together. He wanted them to talk. He wanted to see what was next between them. But she just wasn't interested in him after the sex. She was like, okay, well, wham, bam, thank you, sir, I'm not interested. And she thought he was so boring because he really liked her and he really wanted to be with her and everything. When him and Raheema was dating, she kind of didn't really like him after a while. She liked him a lot at first, but after that, she was just using him to make Tracy jealous. Because through the book, Tracy was just suspiciously jealous of Raheema just because she had beautiful silky hair. But at the time came, she had bad acne. But even though that happened, I would say that Raheema kind of used Bruce a little bit towards the end to make Tracy jealous until they ended because he wanted to have sex. And Raheema wasn't interested in having sex at that time. Now, Tracy's other dude was Timmy. Timmy with the green eyes. Timmy with the green eyes. Timmy with the green eyes. Timmy with the green, hey Timmy, hey Timmy, hey Timmy, hey Timmy with the green eyes. Listen, Timmy with the green eyes was Flyy, but Timmy with the green eyes was a thief. Yes, he stole, okay? He stole, and people was after him. Timmy had money, and Timmy was always getting her fresh. Timmy bought her some big old earrings. Like, you see these? It's big old, these earrings. Timmy bought her some big earrings like that. He bought her like a $300 chain and everything that she ended up getting snatched up because people were after Timmy. Some people came to Timmy's neighborhood with a gun looking for him and everything. Timmy was dangerous and Tracy liked it. And Timmy was kind of a little bit abusive. You know, Tracy got hit in her lip by Timmy because she called him a P-U-S-S-Y. And he wanted to show her like, I'm not no punk. I could do it. I'll punch you in your boom. And Tracy just felt like she went through it all. Timmy was on the edge. But, you know, I guess that's how Tracy liked him because she kept on talking to him. Victor stopped Timmy from beating her up and she still was talking to Timmy. Now, things ended between her and Timmy because he got caught. He was on the run from the police. Now, he came back to Tracy for one last time for their little lucky moment for them to get busy before he skidded off and went to jail. Now, the next guy was Cash. Yes, Cash. Cash was a hustler. Yes, Cash was a drug dealer. Yes, Cash had a nice-ass Jeep. Cash was all that in the bag of chips and Cash was spending money, but Cash could not last. Cash took Tracy to Vegas and they got it in and he couldn't last. He couldn't take it. He came real quick and after that, it was just... the sex topic was off subject. And he spent monies on Tracy. He really wanted to be with Tracy, but after, like, she was just not interested in him. His little feelings was so and he was so aggressive about it. But Tracy wasn't interested. Tracy, I think, really what stopped Tracy from being interested is the encounter between Mercedes, her next door neighbor, and Cash, and she just was like, oh, that's dangerous. I'm gonna talk about Mercedes. I don't want to drop the dime, but yeah, that was kind of sad. So Tracy didn't want no parts of him. The next guy was Keith. Keith wasn't really like, they didn't have sexual intercourse, but Keith was a basketball player. He was headed high. He was supposed to be the next big thing. And he just used to make Tracy feel so illiterate about how she spoke. So she was like, I'm not gonna be with no guy that makes me feel like I'm not smart. So Tracy cut that off, and it wasn't gonna last. The next guy was Charles Webster. Now, Charles was a little mixed kid. Tracy used him for his looks because she was like, oh, he's fine. I want to be with the cute guy. Tracy got him Flyy. Tracy spent money on him so his clothes could be nice. Tracy just got him together only for him to want sex. And Tracy didn't want to have sex with him. Tracy just wanted him as a little smooth little feel good on my arm. Look good. You look good on my arm. You look good on my arm. Look good on my arm. That's all Tracy wanted. Tracy didn't want sex, but he went after girls that did want sex. And after he got Flyy, he was getting girls left and right. All the girls wanted to be with him. That's what happened with Charles. Now, the next guy is Carl. Now, Carl was Tracy's first college boyfriend. Carl was in college. Carl had his stuff together. Carl was set. You know, Carl really wanted Tracy and him to really be something, but Tracy was a little girl. Tracy wasn't serious. Tracy wanted him and her to spend all their time together. And Carl was the first guy that had Tracy feeling way better than Victor did. Putting his mouth, and making Tracy feel good. So she wanted to spend all her time with him, and he just was like, I'm not gonna spend all my time with you. I'm a college student. I need to pass, and now I'm on academic probation because of you. And he just got sick of her always throwing temper tantrums. Carl came in encounter with Victor. He came encounter with Victor, and Victor was about to beat him up. Victor kicked his car, but he was just like, listen, I'm not gonna do it. He was scared that he would have to defend himself, but he wasn't gonna fight Victor. He had no interest in fighting Victor. He was like, listen, that's not that important. It ain't that important to go around fighting you, Victor. It ain't that important. So if it's not, Victor was drunk, his friend dragged him away, and Tracy felt so happy. Tracy was like, Victor is fighting for me. Yes, Victor is fighting for me. So as you guys know, at the end, she and Victor are talking about getting together. So that was the last guy she was with. She wants to marry Victor. She's liked Victor her entire life. I heard that it's a sequel. So maybe, possibly, I can find out what's going on between her and Victor. I'm going to see. I'm going to look into it. I could be doing another book review for you guys. But yeah, so Tracy got deep. She started writing poetry at the end. This beautiful poem at the end. I'll read it for you guys. Are y'all ready? Watch.
I once knew a black man who stole my heart, and then he gave it back to me. When I begged him to keep it, I said, thieves don't give back the goods. But he said, this thief can take all the goods in the world with his black skin and his kingly ways. And I said, but these goods of mine are more precious than the furthest north and the furthest south. And if you run from me, east to west, you will only run in circles of misery. Then he said, yes, but this king can jump to the moon and to Jupiter and as far away as Pluto, searching for more conquest. So what could I do? But I say that I would follow him to the edge of the universe. And then he took me by my hand and ran me through the darkest pits of hell. And I yelled, oh, my black king, I will still follow you, no matter how much you torture me. Well, then he said, you are full of limited wisdom and no self-respect. And I corrected him, saying, no, I am love, eternal, giving you life. So who are you to take away mine? Just because I love you so? And he said, you should have known then that I would deceive you, because I am warrior. I am a warrior who is not to be seduced. And I said, yes, but even black warriors need a place to rest and to feel secure in the warmth only I can give you. And I need no rest, he said, and I can fight on until I am no more. And then I said, with tears in my eyes, I can bring you back again. And then he fell to his knees and cried, "Then I have been the ignorant fool, while you have been the wise one all along." And I said back to him, "Stand up, my king of black skin. Black is your thoughts before I give them life. For you shall discard me again with your blind arrogance, and I shall chase you again to the edge of our universe, bringing you to your knees, reminding you that through me you became alive with my eternal love. So love me as you would love your mother, who is me. Before I separated myself to make more black kings, stretching to the furthest corners of the earth, and then he nestled up beside me like my son, and I loved him like my husband."
See how beautiful the poem is? Beautiful poem. And she started getting deep. She started being one with her Africanness and started, realizing that, it's deep. That she's just one and she's of the earth. She's Mother Nature. Get deep with her African roots and natural foods and different things of that nature. And she just was learning a lot. And, I think she was getting into her ancestral roots, and she was loving herself at the end. At the end, Tracy was really, finding herself, She was trying to find herself, trying to figure out, in life where she was going to go and everything of that nature. So Tracy she went off to college, and she was in college doing her thing in college. And Raheema went off to college as well. As the situation. Now, Tracy got a lot of advice while in high school. Mercedes gave Tracy a lot of advice, and her mom, kind of gave her advice too. Her mother basically told her, like, "Tracy, don't use men. Tracy, you don't need to be using men. That's not good. Tracy, you gotta be careful how you move around men." Advice as far as that. Now we're gonna talk about Mercedes' advice to Tracy. The next advice Mercedes gave Tracy was, don't allow guys to fight over you, because once they start fighting over you, they feel like they own you. She told Tracy that, and Tracy stuck on to that. That's why Tracy broke up with Aaron, because she's like, "No, now you fought over me. Now you're gonna act like you own me. I can't be with you." That was the second advice Mercedes gave Tracy. The third advice Mercedes gave Tracy was, don't stick to one guy. If a guy is doing too much or it's not working out, move on to the next guy. There is more fishes in the sea. Don't be stuck to one guy, getting your head hurting and your heart, you're crying over one guy. No, because these guys are moving on. Mercedes told Tracy there is more fish in the sea. Don't stay crying over no man for too long. You can move on. You'll do better with a better man. One of the biggest advice she gave Tracy was, don't give a guy nothing if he's not giving you something. That's what Mercedes told Tracy. Mercedes told Tracy, if you're messing with a guy, he better have something to offer you. If he don't have nothing to offer you, you don't need to be talking to him. So listen, what you do is, she said, in her exact words, she said, what you do is get a nice looking dude with money, romance his ass. She said, and if you can get something without doing anything with him, then do it. But if you have to sleep with him, mess with his head real good before you do. She said, I see a lot of guys are stingy, but until you give them the poom poom. Once you give them the poom poom, they start acting all stupid in love and stuff. That's what she told Tracy. She said, watch out for these hustlers though, because they'll be trying to hurt you. Mercedes pulled out a bag of birth control, and she gave Tracy her first birth control. She told her, listen, be safe, be protected. When Tracy asked her, hey, what if I get pregnant messing with these guys? And Mercedes was like, here's some birth control. Get your life together. You have to be safe. Now, the sad thing about Mercedes is at the end, Tracy saw Mercedes was basically selling her body for drugs. Mercedes got on drugs at the end of the book. And I think that took a big hit on Mercedes and Tracy's relationship, because she was like, she looked up to this person, but she was moving really fast. She was running off with cash. Her mom was fighting physically, getting in altercations where Patty would have to fight her, beat her up, punch her, whatever. And she would run off with cash, be gone all hours of the night. She was being grown. She thought she was grown, living her best life being grown. So in that instance, it was a lot. So when she saw Mercedes, it snapped her back to reality. Like, yo, this is real life. This could be me. Mercedes, like, that's my sister. I see her as my sister, and this is what she's going through. This can be my reality. This can be something that can happen to me. So she was just frightened by what happened with her, and I think she was really, like, genuinely concerned and in a bad place because that happened to her sister.